Okay, Mortenax Blade V3 is finally here, and honestly, this update makes his direction way clearer than before. Because pre-V3 Blade was starting to look completely ridiculous. People were testing him with Acheron, Ashvale, follow-up teams, break teams, dot teams, even future Elation setups. The character genuinely started feeling like one of those units you could throw into almost anything and somehow make work. And V3 feels like Hoyo stepping in and saying, "Alright, we need to narrow this down a little." The biggest change is definitely his team role. His follow-up support capabilities got toned down pretty noticeably at E0. A lot of the more universal team buffing got reduced or moved away, while more power was pushed directly into Blade's own damage instead. Which honestly changes the feel of the character quite a lot. Before, he looked like this premium glue support that also happened to do damage. Now he feels much more like an actual carry or sub-DPS hybrid that wants the team built around him. And the funny thing is, despite some nerfs, I actually think the kit looks healthier now. Because they massively improved his survivability. His HP drain got reduced across the board. Skill HP drain went from 15% down to 10%. Ultimate HP drain went from 30% down to 20%. That might not sound massive at first, but if you watched old gameplay showcases, Blade was absolutely shredding his own HP bar. There were moments where he looked genuinely uncomfortable to play without very specific sustained setups. Now he looks way more stable. And then they added 50% damage reduction during his ultimate state, which is honestly huge. That alone makes him significantly safer and less punishing in longer fights. At the same time, his ultimate damage got buffed too, especially the HP scaling. So while some of the supportive utility went down, his personal output definitely went up. And honestly, this feels like Hoyo trying to prevent another situation where one character becomes the best support for 5 different archetypes at once. Because now his intended teammates are much more obvious. The biggest winner from these V3 changes is probably Acheron teams. His Nihility synergy got buffed hard. The bonus damage for running Nihility teammates increased from 50% to 75%, which is honestly not subtle at all. That basically screams, "Please run this guy with Nihility units." So teams like Mortenax Blade, Acheron, Hoyo, plus Sustain are looking really strong right now. Especially because Blade still brings damage, debuffs, and pressure at the same time. Ashvale synergy is still there too, by the way. That didn't disappear. But it definitely feels less absurd than before. Pre-V3, people were genuinely starting to think Blade would become the universal best partner for almost every aggressive team in the game. Now he feels more specialized. And honestly, I think this also says something bigger about Hoyo's future direction. A lot of these newer kits don't feel like traditional hypercarry setups anymore. They're moving toward teams where everyone contributes damage in some way. Which matches Elation's design philosophy almost perfectly too. A modern archetype where the entire team is constantly contributing pressure together. So even though some people are calling this a nerf, I honestly think it's more accurate to say they cleaned up his identity. And depending on how future units turn out, this version of Blade might actually age much better than the old one.